Hi everyone, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. My name is Adrian, and I am broadcasting this lesson to you live from beautiful Budapest, capital city of Hungary. Today we are looking at IELTS speaking part 3, some examples, questions with strategies. As usual, our materials are coming from our websites, aehelp.com. For academic IELTS, that's this website here with the blue background. Click that big red button, join that course. You won't regret it. Will definitely help you improve your band scores for IELTS. And gieltshelp.com for general IELTS. Click that big red button, join our course there. Hello members who are joining in. Hi Preeti, hi Parth, hi Harminder, and hello to all of our beautiful viewers. Hi Bakrin, hi Lynn, hi Aman, hi Lavish Kumar. I hope everybody is having a fantastic day thus far. So again, our website's academic, aehelp.com, and general IELTS, gieltshelp.com. Of course, the reading and writing sections are different on these websites. All right. So let's take a look at the schedule. I've also updated the schedule on our community chat board, so you can check it out there. February 20th to March 9th, so it's the next 3 weeks of classes. Today, speaking part 3. Tomorrow, academic reading. On Friday, task 2 essay. And then members, be a special chat class as usual for you on Saturday. Send me your requests for these members chat classes, okay? And then on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, no class. We will be releasing HD videos on our channel at that time. Hi, Begzod. And back on the 27th with speaking part 1 and 2. We'll do a task 1 graphs question on the following Thursday. Then on Friday, listening, and again, members chat on Saturday. And then in the first week of March, or following the first week, speaking, listening, reading, and again, a members chat. All right, students, let's get right into it. Today, it is a speaking class, so please make sure to repeat me nice and loud, okay? Repeat. 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 Repetition is very, very important when you're practicing your speaking, especially when you hear a native speaker and you have a chance to interact. Hi, Maninderjeet. Good to see so many of our members in on time. Hi, Nasir. Hi, everyone. All right. So, IELTS speaking. This is just a quick recap of the earlier class today from our General IELTS Help YouTube channel. Human brain needs 3 hours usually to reach its maximum function. That means your best English is around 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. If you're waking up at 7, 8 o'clock, the best English that you have is around 10, 11. So try to wake up 3 hours before your IELTS exam, or try to be fresh during that time. That can really make a difference in your overall band score. Okay, students, let's start with just a couple of the first questions when you walk into the exam. So you're feeling great, you're prepared, you remember the sun will shine tomorrow. Don't try to guess the questions and the topic, okay? You probably won't be able to, so just keep an open mind. The examiner says, "Welcome. My name is Adrian, and I will be your examiner for the speaking portion of the IELTS exam. Please take your seat." And then repeat after me. "Thank you. I'm excited to be here." Okay, what is your name, or what is your full name? They will ask for your full name. They will ask for your passport just to make sure you are who you say you are. And you should have a question ready for this, including what the person should call you. So again, just keep answering this. By the way, many students who watch these classes regularly, the reason I always do this question, the what is your full name, because I want you to be like a robot when you go in to that interview. I want you to feel really comfortable answering this question. Okay. So my name is Tran Ngoc Nguyen. What should I call you, Mr. Nguyen? Include that in your answer. Harminder says, my full name is Harminder Dinza. You can call me Harminder. Okay, great. Abhishek says, my family name is Dangwal and my given name is Abhishek. You can call me Abhishek. Okay, good. Surya says, my name is Surya. Surya, what is your family name and what should I call you? Will be the follow-up questions. You definitely want to show fluency right away. Okay, right away. Show fluency. So, my name, my surname is Smith. My given name is Alfred, but please just call me by my nickname, Fred. Okay, so that would be one way to answer this question where you're showing some nice, fluent response, good comprehension, okay? All right, see some other good answers there, great. And then you'll be asked a couple of icebreaker questions. I'm just doing these to warm you up for the trickier part 3 questions. Here's a very common question at the beginning of the IELTS speaking. Do you work or study? Give me a nice answer for this one, students. Again, for this question, just like what is your name, you should have a very good, fluent response with no mistakes. Okay, you should not be making mistakes in this. All right? So, do you work or study? Currently, I'm both working as an IELTS instructor and studying French, as I would like to get a government job in the future. Okay, I'm just making that up. It's not quite true. But hey, it works. All right, let's see what some of you wrote, and then we'll look at my answers. So Baljit says, currently, I'm studying for IELTS since I have plans to continue higher education in New Zealand or Canada. Okay, that was great. That was a good answer. All right, Harminder says, I'm studying a bachelor's degree at Punjab University. Harminder, give me a little bit more. So it's a good start. You're studying a bachelor's degree. What is your bachelor's? So add in details. Students, using adjectives, using descriptive language will make your band score go up. Some students believe that you need to use rare and unusual, uncommon English words to show high vocabulary, but that's not actually true. You need to use descriptive language to show your vocabulary. So Harminder, you need to say, for example, I'm studying a Bachelor of Computer Science degree at Punjabi University because I plan to be a software programmer for Google in future years. And that will get you scores for fluency and for lexical resource. Okay. All right. Maria Yaz says, currently I'm working as a government teacher. Besides this, I'm studying IELTS in hopes of going to UK for future study. Okay, good. Maria, what study? Master's, PhD? Try to be specific. Again, Maninderjeet Kaur says, currently I'm both working as a dentist in the hospital as well as preparing for the Canadian Dental Board examination. Okay, that's a nice answer. Why are you preparing, Maninderjeet, for that board exam? Because you hope to be a dentist in Canada? Okay, again, finish that idea, but quite good. Okay, here I'm also using a correlative conjunction like many of you. Those help to improve scores, so use them, both and here. Currently, I'm both working as an IELTS instructor and studying French, as I would like to get a government job in the future. In Canada, government jobs require fluency in French and in English because we are a bilingual country. Now, I'm just making that up. It's not my actual goal, and I speak a little bit of French, un petit peu, so not enough to get a government job, but that's not really my ambition. It doesn't matter. Just make up something that works. Okay. So let's get going with part 3. Part 3 are questions related to the topic of part 2. Okay. Part 3 questions, part 3 of IELTS, it's more specific questions on a more niche topic or a more niche subject. It means a refined or a narrow field or area of knowledge. Okay. So you need a higher level of English, you need a higher level of comprehension, of fluency, to get a good score in part 3. Now, a lot of times, students think that you need to have really complex vocabulary or very high level vocabulary to get a good band score on IELTS. Now, you have to be very careful about that, students, okay? And I see this too often where students are using these rare words that they somehow found in the English dictionary or searching online for rare words in English. And then they study these rare words and just randomly put them into answers and sentences. Many times they are using them incorrectly, incorrect word form, or awkward in context, okay? This is not a good way to get a high IELTS band score. In fact, your band score will go down because you're making a mistake, you're speaking incoherently, and it's not natural. So it hurts your score, okay? So trying to use fancy vocabulary can do more harm than good. All right, keep that in mind. You don't have to use rare English words to get a high score or a band score over 6.5. What you have to do is you have to speak well, okay? You have to have good language use in English, okay? And good language use means that you are using a range of grammar. You are answering questions completely and accurately. And you are using descriptive and colorful language. Okay? It doesn't have to be overly complex. Keep that in mind. So let's focus on this in part 3. Okay? So part 3, this is after you're finished your card. Okay? You will have questions. You have a card that you need to look at, 2 minutes of speaking. And then the last piece of your speaking exam is part 3. Okay? Part 3 will take 4, 5, 6 minutes, okay, depending on the flow and how you're performing. And in this case, the example is talking about tools, okay? So let's talk about tools. Now, when the examiner states this phrase, let's talk about tools, what should happen in your mind? Okay? So what do you need to think about when you hear this? Let's talk about tools. And if some of you were in the class before today, in the general IELTS class, you should be able to answer this question nice and quickly for me. Okay, so the examiner says, let's talk about tools. So Abhishek says, oh, what kind of tools, right? So what do you mean by tools? Okay, what are tools? So Baljit says, like tools of a carpenter? Right? A woodworker, carpenter, a builder? Or what kind of tools are we talking about here? We don't know that yet, right? But you should think about that. Hakan says maybe some kitchen appliances. Yeah, kitchen tools, sure. Yeah, so you should start to think about these different types of tools that we use or that we commonly are familiar with in our day-to-day lives, like tools of a carpenter, tools we have in the kitchen, tools for a computer, right? Digital tools. Okay, and what words come to mind? So when you think about the word tools, so some of you are correctly realizing that you need to identify the topic, which is good. So here the topic is obviously tools. Each question will be connected to the idea of tools coming up. And you need to think of as much information as possible, as quickly as possible when you hear this phrase. Let's talk about tools. Tools for communication, says Baljit Lubana. Absolutely. Okay. What other words should come to mind? So you're thinking of some nouns here, like computer, kitchen, carpenter, hammer, screwdriver, blender, okay, microwave. So you're thinking of all these nouns, okay, antivirus software, applications, Microsoft Office, Word, PowerPoint. So you're thinking of this, but what else should you think of? So thinking of nouns, it's a good idea. Okay, so visualizing these nouns, that's a good idea. But you should also think about what else? Other than your nouns. Okay, the more kinds of words you can quickly associate and recall in memory, the better your answers will be. Okay, so Abhishek says, well, tools are items which make our work easy and convenient. So you're thinking of some adjectives now, Abhishek, good. But what I would think about as well is some verb, okay, verbs. So the two most important types of words to think of when you get the title of part 3 is think about verbs, nouns and verbs. And of course, you will already have some of this preloaded from part 2. So don't forget part 2 when you get to part 3. So when you think of tools, what kind of verbs come to mind? Okay, and this will help your visualization as well. So verbs, what kind of verbs come to mind? Verbs are actions, very important. Why? Because when you combine your nouns and your verbs, that's where you get great sentences, okay? My three-eyed exclamation mark alien there. All right. So what kind of verbs can you think of? Good. Mekria says make, upgrade. So make, upgrade is a good one as well. With make, you should probably think of a few. Drill, screw. Yep. Drill, screw. Absolutely. Those are verbs. Yep. Utilize, fix, cook, yep. Utilize, fix, cook, okay, build, repair. Okay, there you go. Beautiful. Nicely done. Vishnu, fantastic. So now you're thinking, okay? So when you hear the part 3 phrase, and they will always include that. That's to prime you, okay? So it's called priming, where they want you to think before you hear the questions and start speaking. Focus on the topic and think about verbs, think about nouns associated with that topic. Remember part 2. Remember to connect to part 2, okay? And that will help you to boost your band score, keeping those points in mind, those critical points, all right? And then using them, of course, in your responses. Don't panic if you don't understand a question. Remember that every question here is going to be about tools, okay? So a couple of important notes here, and then we'll look at these questions and answer them together, okay? So some important strategies here for part 3, okay? I'm going to put it right after here so you keep these in mind, all right? Number 1, focus on the topic. Here it's tools, Okay. And remember that every question in some way is related to this topic. So don't get confused if you don't understand a question. Okay? When the examiner says, now I will ask you some questions related to the topic of part 2, remember to connect to part 2. Okay? We didn't do part 2 today, so don't worry about that too much, but that's an important hint. Okay? To part 2. Okay, keep in mind that when you've identified the topic, identify nouns and verbs related to the topic. Okay, and this you have to practice at home. Okay? So good exercise is what we were just doing, where basically you look at the topic and you think, okay, nouns, 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 verbs, verbs, verbs. All right? Okay. So let's take a look at some of these questions and answer them together. Remember, the key here is answer, explain, example. Okay? That's the key to a high score. Answer plus explain plus example, smooth flowing example, so the examiner doesn't stop you. Okay, or jump to the next question. All right. How have tools improved in the past few decades? All right. How have tools improved in the past few decades? Now, you might have to think about a specific type of tool, like carpenter, or kitchen tools, or computer tools. It's up to you. Okay? All right, so answer this question for me, students. How have tools improved in the past few years? Okay, give me your answer. As long as it's a tool, as long as you're saying how it improved, you can't go wrong. Make it clear. I'll give you my answer as well. All right. Let's see what you have. All right. Hakan says, tools are improved once the material is actually new materials investigated. Then tools perform more efficiently. Hakan, you have some good ideas, but your grammar is quite mixed up. Tools have improved as they are made of modern materials. Okay? Therefore, they can perform much more efficiently. Okay, good. Violeta Castro Paredes says, they've been modernized over the passing of time. Like a hammer now is not just a hammer. It could be also an electric hammer or a drill. Okay, Violeta, it's creative. I don't mind. It's good. Preeti says, undoubtedly, tools have made life easy compared to the past because they not only save time, but also connect the modern world. Like computers work faster than the pen and paper, and it is, and they store data for a long time. Not safe data, but they store data, Preeti. That's a fairly good answer. You just need to be more clear, Preeti. We're talking about how tools have improved, so how tools have gotten better, Okay? If you're talking about computers as a tool for work or communication, you can explain that they have become faster, more accurate, more reliable. Okay? So it's a different answer, but also a very good one as long as it's clear. Hadil says, for example, the cooker changed from the past. In the past, we used fire to cook. Nowadays, we use a gas or electric stovetop or a microwave. All right, pay attention, Hadil, to the question. The past few decades means 20, 30, 40 years, okay? Not thousands or hundreds of years. So we're not comparing using fire to an electric stovetop here. Begzod says, I definitely believe that tools have become much more convenient and easier to utilize. For example, doctors found it very challenging with medical tools 20 years ago, but now there are a variety of new surgical tools, such as laser scalpels that are more precise and safer. Begzod, your answer is okay, but it's really where you need a specific example, like a laser scalpel, which can push your score higher to make it that much clearer. Otherwise, it's a little bit lost at the end. Okay? So this is where your vocabulary can shine. All right. Ishmael says, heavy machinery has been utilized by human effort tools such as modern robotics have taken the place of humans to provide more products in a shorter time compared to 2 or 3 decades before. So Ishmael, the automation of tools, yeah, it's okay. So many tools that were powered by humans before are now done by robots, okay? So that's an okay answer. All right. Okay, students, so here's my answer. Repeat after me. Tools have improved much over the past 20, 30 years because of advancements in technology. What I mean is that the materials that tools are made from are stronger, lighter, and more flexible. A hammer today can weigh less than half of its predecessor and be twice as strong, being made of titanium. Okay, so what's important to notice in my response? So what is it that makes this a good response? First of all, notice that the question is present perfect, have improved. And the question is asking past few decades. Okay, so I want to answer with this in mind right at the beginning. Okay, so tools have improved much. Okay, right away I'm showing that I realize the type of question, that it's present perfect, and I'm answering in the same way. Right away, I realize the time frame of the question, and I'm giving that answer right away. Okay? When you do that, the examiner on their marking sheet can say, okay, student understood the question. Okay, student understood the grammar. Okay, student reflects grammar of question. And okay, they give good detail and paraphrase. Okay, right away, just from that first part of the response. Now, I'm continuing with cause and effect, right? Using because. So immediately a subordinating conjunction. Okay, and then we're talking about the future or past in regards to the present. One way that you can quickly answer those types of questions is think of technology. Okay, what will happen in the future, or what is different from the past compared to the present? Well, we live in the world and the age of information and technology, so that's always a good go-to answer. Okay? And then here, I go into deeper explanation. What I mean is that the materials that tools are made from are stronger, lighter, more flexible. Okay? So stronger, lighter, more flexible. Vocabulary, okay? Made from, using passive voice. Okay, so that's the passive. A hammer today can weigh less than half of its predecessors and be twice as strong, being made of titanium. I'm right away answering even the follow-up question of the examiner, can you give examples, by including that example. All right? That's what you want to do if you are going for that high band 7, band 8, band 9. Reflect the question, reflect the context of the question, give a clear explanation, make your sentence complex, include the passive voice at times when possible, and give an example. Do that, avoid mistakes, and I promise you will get a great score. Okay? All right, students, focus on that while you answer the next question. So here is our next question. People often say that it is important to use the right tool for the job. Why is this good advice? Okay, why is this good advice? So people often say that it is important to use the right tool for the job. Why is this good advice? Okay, give me a nice answer for that question, students. Again, visualizing here is a good idea. So picture a situation where somebody's using the right tool for the job, and maybe picture a situation where somebody's using the wrong tool for the job. So it's a kind of a advantages, disadvantages type question. Okay. Danny, good luck on your exam tomorrow. I hope you do well. Okay, I'm with you in spirit. Okay, so Ahmed says to avoid damaging it as well as harming yourself. Ahmed, Abu El Wafa, you're absolutely on the right train of thought. So you're going in the right direction. You just need to express yourself clearer. Okay? So Amar Wadi says, I believe that this saying is common to make life easier than it is now. Amar, you need to explain that a little bit more. Okay? Okay, Baljit says, well, people believe this because the right tools can make work efficient and easy. All right, Baljit, it's a good start, but can you explain that? And can you give me an example? Begzod says, every tool has its own role regarding its usages. People cannot use a laser scalpel for cooking. Instead, they should use a knife. Begzod, good connection to your previous answer, okay, about surgical tools being better and using a laser scalpel. So that's a good connection there. Just give a more clear explanation, okay? So give better explanation of why that is, right? All right. Abhishek says to save time and energy. MD Tosaf Ali is taking the opposite side of this picture and saying, well, the wrong tools can damage the results. Okay. All right. So you have some good ideas there. It's just a matter of putting it into a good statement. Now, again, remember, people often say that it is important. You need to listen to these parts of the question people often say. Okay? So, this is valuable advice by many people, since the right instrument, okay, and I'm going to stop here for a second, all right, before I give further information here or further response. Notice what I'm doing, okay? Valuable advice, good advice, okay? I'm showing that I understand the question by many people, okay? People often say, many people. I'm reflecting the question, okay? The right tool, the right instrument using some paraphrasing. So instead of repeating the word tool over and over again, I'm using the word instrument. So far, I've said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 words. And in that 11 words, the examiner can already evaluate that this person is 7 band or higher. No problem, okay? Even if you have an accent, even if you're speaking a little bit slower, but as long as you're speaking clearly and you're giving this response, you're good. Okay? You're on the right track. Okay? Since the right instrument is not only more efficient, but also safe. To think of the opposite, using the wrong tool may result in damage and harm in the process. Okay? Like the other day, I should have used a can opener to crack the can of tuna, but instead I used a knife and cut my finger. Okay, so again, very visual, very clear, smooth flowing example, and you will get a great band score. Okay, so take a look at the answer, repeat after me. This is valuable advice by many people, since the right instrument is not only more efficient but also safe. To think of the opposite, using the wrong tool may result in damage and harm in the process. Like the other day, I should have used a can opener to crack the can of tuna, but instead I used a knife and cut my finger. Okay, so very visual, nice and fast, very clear. All right. Preeti says, yes, definitely. The right tool for the right job will make the work more accurate. Like a doctor cannot do surgery with a butter knife, so he needs a scalpel for the incisions. Preeti, very nice answer. Excellent. Good for you. Okay. Alikan Akin says, it should be noted using the wrong tools can be damaging to our work and body, but sometimes for some works, using tools which are unpredictable can be useful. Alikan, careful with expressing your own feelings and emotions or thoughts because you can kind of go off topic and give an awkward answer. Although I see what you're saying, don't be too creative on IELTS with your actual ideas. Just stick to the common ideas and express them clearly in a complex way. Okay? Kento is saying, do we need to give an example in every question? 2 out of 3, Kento. So if you want a ratio, you should give examples for 2 out of every 3 questions. Many times when students think they're giving examples, they're actually still just giving explanations. Examples are actual events that are visible, measurable, like yesterday when I cut my finger using a knife instead of a can opener. Okay? So examples make your explanations much clearer. Okay? And that's why they're very powerful to use. They absolutely will help your band score go up. Okay? All right. Let's go to the next question. Here we go. What types of digital tools are used in daily office or student life to help individuals? Give details and examples. Okay, this is a little bit closer to home. We're talking about computers, smartphones, tablets. What types of digital tools are used in daily office or student life to help individuals? Give details and examples. Okay, let's see what you come up with. Again, try to give me complex answers. Okay, so use subordinating conjunctions. time, cause and effect, condition, opposition. Okay. Hadil, again, too simple. You can't just answer, I think it's computers and smartphones for that question, because you get a 5, even if you're using perfect English. Okay, you need to give me more information. You need to focus on the question, students. Daily office or student life. Daily office or student life. You have to show me that you're understanding every part of the question. All right. I think many students here, what happens is they just get lost in what types of digital tools are used. And their thinking stops here. Okay. That's one of the dangers in part 3, is that students are only paying attention to the first part of the question, and they're not paying attention to the specifics of the question. You have to pay attention to this and this part of the question. Okay, you have to make sure that you're answering the whole question. All right. So Mertkan says, nowadays, smartphones and personal computers are used by almost everybody in daily life. For instance, I use my personal computer for studying IELTS and for writing my master's thesis, or for researching my master's thesis. You got a missing verb there, but otherwise, pretty good answer. Harish says, for example, calculators are used rigorously. Okay, sorry, Harish, I'll start from the beginning. Instruments like scientific calculators and digital computers. Let me just get back there one more time. Instruments, this is Harish D. Instruments like scientific calculator and digital computers make the life of students and employees easier. For example, calculators are used rigorously in scientific advancements for scientists, and computers are used for dissertations and research activities for students. Not bad, Harish. I like how you're using some good grammar there. You don't need to say, for example. You can just say like or such as to make it a little bit faster. You don't get interrupted by the examiner. Okay. But pretty good. Pretty good. All right, let's see some more answers. Pavnaj Barnes says, well, in the modern era, it is possible to work without electronic devices. So an office computer is the most important. In the education field, it is helpful to make study easier. All right. Okay. Rekha says, there are various kinds of technical tools, such as a mobile phone, laptop, and tablet used in everyday life. I use a laptop not only for office work to complete assignments and create presentations, but also in my studies for finishing essays and such. Okay, Rekha, good. Okay, just some corrections there. Paula Dennis says, the internet is the online network with more usage by students or workers. Okay, Paula, great idea. Let's just correct that a little bit. So the internet is an online network, which is one of the most utilized instruments by both students and employees. There is a plethora of information in this virtual world, and it is great help for research, completing projects, and communicating ideas with colleagues and peers. Paula, brilliant idea. Notice all those corrections and additions to what you wrote. Okay, but the internet is definitely a valuable instrument for students and for employees. Okay, so not only are hardware instruments like laptops and smartphones utilized by students and workers to research and to complete research and projects. but also software, such as Office, Word, and PowerPoint. Okay. So what I'm doing here is using a correlative conjunction right away to start off. Not only are hardware instruments like laptops and smartphones utilized by students and workers to complete research and projects, but also software such as Office, Word, and PowerPoint are implemented in daily work and study life for conveying information. Okay, conveying means getting information across to your audience. Conveying with a Y in front of the I. You're very welcome, Paula. Very welcome. Okay. All right. So again, use those correlative conjunctions and paraphrase as much as possible. If you can think of the word instruments instead of tools, that's great. One way that you can visualize digital tools, of course, is with hardware and software. That's a good hint for any topics around technology. Think about hardware on one side and software on the other side. Okay? So not only are hardware instruments like laptops and smartphones utilized by students and workers to complete research and projects, but also software such as Office, Word, and PowerPoint are implemented in daily work and study life for conveying information. All right? So there is some good information there for you. Now, what else can I do to make my responses better? Okay, what else can I do to improve my responses? So I'm using these conjunctions, I'm using synonyms, I'm using vocabulary, I'm reflecting the grammar of the questions, I'm using the questions in part 3. What else can I remember to do in order to improve my band score? So what else can I remember? I'm giving answers, explanations, examples. There's something else that I can add. Begzod says, oh, examples, but let's just say, Begzod, that I've already got the examples figured out. What am I not doing so far in this class that I show oftentimes and say, hey, students, you should think about this and use this in your speaking to get a better band score? Hakana Hook is for writing. Murtkan says, always answer the why question. Yep, definitely always try to answer that why question. Give reasons. I'm using colorful language. What else should I include? What should I remember? So when I'm going through that mental checklist, connections between answers, Begzod, absolutely. That's a good one. What else? I'm still missing 1 point from my answers so far that I'd like to see. Harish says cohesion, and cohesion is partly making those connections. Simranjit says use hard words. Nope, we talked about that. You don't need to use hard words, and I am actually using some higher level vocabulary as well. What else? What is nice? What makes communication clear? Okay, natural answers, sure. All right. In the future, remember this one, students. Use both quantitative and qualitative information. Add numbers to your answers, okay? That will make your information more coherent, all right? So here we go. Let's take an example. Some people prefer, all right, new introduction here. So let's talk about repairs, Okay, so repairing, making repairs. So let's talk about repairs. All right. Here we go. Some people prefer to repair broken machinery on their own. Others like to hire a professional. Why is this difference? Okay, answer this question for me. So some people like to repair broken machinery by themselves. Others want to hire a professional. Why is this difference? So why is it that some people want to try repairing on their own? Others say, hey, no, I'm going to call a pro. Like a good example would be the dishwasher is broken. Dad says, okay, I can do this, no problem. Grab my toolkit, my toolbox, my screwdriver, my hammer, okay, and start pulling apart the dishwasher. Of course, always make sure to power off before you do that. And some people are like, oh, I'm not touching it. I'm going to call a professional. So why is that? Merkin says it depends on the person. Merkin, the expression is it depends on the person or it differs from person to person. Okay. And then you said not only is it cheaper, but Merkin says not only because it's cheaper, but also doing it to gain experience. Sure. Tosef says every individual has different technical knowledge based on their abilities. Some people think that they can understand the working of machines and can resolve these issues associated with broken machinery. All right, that's one side. Where's the other side? Ah, there it is. The rest think they will be unable to resolve the issue by themselves, so they hire a professional. Don't overcomplicate it, Tosef. Keep it simple. Andrew says the difference occurs because of some people's necessity. Okay, let me try to fix that, Andrew Gluhich. So the difference occurs because of some people's skills and experience repairing on their own, while others lack such knowledge. An example would be repairing a car. While some people are able to do this no problem, others would only cause further damage. All right? Bagzad says there are some tools which can be fixed easily, while materials such as dishwasher, it's much harder. It can take hours. Okay, I think some students are overcomplicating this question. You need to keep it simple, okay? This is where in IELTS you don't necessarily want to give all of the information in your head, and you don't want to necessarily give the information that you feel like you want to give to the examiner. Keep it simple. People want to fix or repair items on their own because it costs less and they cannot afford a repairman, okay? So I would just start really simple, okay? Certain individuals may not be able to afford expensive repairs, so they decide to take matters into their own hands, while others in more fortunate financial positions do not want to waste money, or do not want to waste time, do not want to waste time or cause more damage, so they opt for a professional repairman. Okay, just the other day. So here we want to give that quantitative information. All right. So just the other day, I saved about $300 repairing my laptop because I did it myself, and I simply couldn't afford the tech anyway. Okay, so here's my answer. Again, keeping it simple. So yes, you're right. Some people are good with their hands. They have experience, they have knowledge, so they decide that they're going to do repairs on their own. But one of the simplest ways to answer this question is it's just cheaper to repair broken machinery or broken objects by yourself than to call a repairman. And maybe you can't afford it or you don't want to spend that money. So answer it in a simple way. Again, repeat after me, students. Certain individuals may not be able to afford expensive repairs, so they decide to take matters into their own hands, while others, in more fortunate financial positions, do not want to waste time or cause more damage. So they opt for a professional repairman. Just the other day, I saved about $300 repairing my laptop because I did it myself, and I simply couldn't afford the tech anyway. Okay? Ahmed, I don't need the buy myself. I did it myself is fine. Buy is just wordy. Okay? Opt means take the option to do it myself. All right? Opt means to take the option of doing it myself. All right? Take matters into my own hands means to take control of the situation. It's an expression. So yes, some of you are correctly asking these questions and realizing that I'm teaching you vocabulary here as well. All right? Preeti says, just yesterday my smartphone screen broke and I didn't have the skill to fix it, so I sent it to the repair center and paid $200. Okay? Preeti, remember that quantitative information. It just makes it that much sweeter, that much better to get a high band score. So I saved $300 repairing my phone. Okay? Quantitative information, ladies and gents. Just gets you that extra boost. Okay? Remember that for the future. All right. So, a couple more questions. Here they are. These days, people often throw away objects that need repair and simply buy a replacement. Is this good or bad practice? And then the follow-up question that they might ask you or interrupt you with is, can you elaborate? The cost of repairs for cars and computers can be very expensive. Why is this? How can such costly repairs be avoided? Okay, this is where I can probably connect to my first answer by doing it myself. Students, that's all the time for today's class. For these last two questions, I challenge you to record the answer on your phone, send it to me by email, send the MP3, and I'll let you know how you did. Remember, use not just qualitative, but also quantitative information. Okay? Make your sentences complex, all right? Focus on the topic. Connect your answers to other questions or answers in part 3, okay? Think about some good nouns, some good verbs to use as well. Send your responses to adrian@aehelp.com. That's my email. If you have questions about IELTS or our products, just send it to adrian@aehelp.com. I will be happy to respond. Remember, our materials, 6 original practice exams, a fully interactive course, and over 100 hours of HD video lessons as well as live lessons that are available to you on our websites. For general IELTS, green background, click that big red button, go to gieltshelp.com, and for academic IELTS, go to this website with the blue background. Click that big red button. That's at aehelp.com. That's it for me for today. I will be back tomorrow with some academic reading practice and strategies for some questions from our exams. Ladies and gents, good interaction today. Some great answers. Keep the practice going. Make sure to say these answers, not just type or write them. Okay? Say them nice and loud. Record yourself on the phone. Harminder, you're very welcome. Violetta, you're welcome. Maninderjeet, you're welcome as well. I look forward to your speaking interview, Maninderjeet, helping you out. Bye for now, everyone. Have a great rest of your day. And if you're getting ready for bed, sweet dreams.